Yeah, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've put a video out. Been so busy with life here lately that I just haven't had a chance to really indulge in my passion for making content. But anyway, we're getting back to that because preparations for our trip to Moab are currently underway. Got everything laid out that we're going to be taking. There's more stuff to come, but I wanted to show y'all what I take, what toolkit I take wheeling generally, especially if we're going to be so far from home. So yeah, let's get started. First up is my catch-all tool roll. So in the top we have our consumables. And this is going to be our tape, Teflon tape, gloves, zip ties. Basically anything that's not going to be reusable when we're done. The gloves are the exception to that rule. I used to have just latex gloves, but I switched to the kind of these Ace brand rubber. You start dealing with gear oil and grease. Yeah. Anyway, stuff makes a mess. Alright, next up is my what I call trim and electrical. Voltmeter, wire cutters, trim tool. And keep in mind, guys, these are not just trail tool usage or trail tools. This is kind of my go-to anytime I need to work on the Jeep. There's a circuit tester right there. Anytime I need to work on the Jeep specifically, these are my go-to tool set. I've got a lot of Jeep specific socket sizes and stuff in here, and they never ever leave this kit. Obviously I have way more tools than this, but I try to keep everything kind of contained. Next up is sockets. So 1/2 inch drive, 3/8 drive, extension. That's all fine and dandy. And then of course I have various large socket sizes. These are all impact grade. And most of them are deep well, with the few exceptions. Now, I do have a 13 millimeter 12 point. That's a common size that I find that I need a little bit extra reach with, but the extension's too much, so we'll do a deep well. Now, I say that because a majority of my sockets that I use are really shallow. These nice shallow 3/8 inch drive that can also be turned with a wrench. I can't even remember what brand these are. Astra, maybe? I don't know. It's an off brand from Amazon. You can find it there. But I really like these. I haven't had any kind of issue out of them. And I've got every size from 6 millimeter to 19 millimeter in a very shallow socket. And I also have the 1/2 inch to 3/8 inch adapter, so I can interchange these depending on how much leverage I want to get. So there's that. And next up is our hand tools, just wrenches. I've got 2 of the same size adjustable. This is typically for my drag link or my tie rod adjustment if I need to make it out there in the field. And then the rest are just your everyday channel locks, pliers. I Duracoated all of these because these are knockoff, you know, really not knockoff, but these are Harbor Freight grade tools, and they do see moisture a good bit, so I just put a coat of Duracoat on these to help mitigate some of that rust. And of course, gotta have your vice grips, and then snips just in case. The one wrench that I do have that is ratcheting, that's different from the other wrenches I carry, is the 10mm, because that's the one of the most common sizes in any vehicle really that you want a ratcheting wrench for. Right. So the last but not least is the miscellaneous nuts and bolts section, and I have a small pry bar here, and then spare lug nuts, battery terminal, and then let's see, these are bolts that pulled out of a rear bumper. I've got some punches. So miscellaneous nuts, bolts, and tools. It's kind of my junk drawer, the junk section of this bag. So that covers this tool roll, and this tool roll sits in the top of my toolbox. So I'll get this out of the way. Next up is I have adapters. So these are all the various sizes, 1/2 inch to 3/8, etc. And then of course swivels for all three sizes. That goes with me. I've got a full range of Tecton millimeter tools, so 8mm to 22mm wrenches. I guess I could trim this down. Yes, I could save some weight with it, but realistically, in reality, I've tried that, and then I found that I actually needed a size that I cut out. So I'd rather just take it all and be done with it than splitting up a set. So it doesn't really cost me that much extra room. Your mileage may vary, but as minimalist as I am when it comes to taking tools, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, and roll the dice. So there's the wrenches. One other thing I usually take are snap ring pliers. Yes, these look brand new, not used, because they are. I broke my last set and I haven't used them since. Actually, I take that back. I have used these, but they go back in the manufacturing plastic very decently. Keeps all the spare pieces together. So yeah, that goes with us. This is another complete set toolkit that I just frankly don't want to split up. So this particular kit has a wide variety of socket sizes, ratchet extensions. This is probably one of my most favorite tools that I own, and which is just awful. But it's a ratchet for 1/4 inch drivers, or 1/4 inch bits, I should say. This thing really comes in handy. But this toolkit in particular does not stay in the Jeep all the time. If I find that I'm not going to be in the Jeep and I'm going to be driving the truck around for a while, or the Mustang around for a while, this kit gets put in whatever vehicle I'm actively driving. Now when we go wheeling, obviously the Jeep is the active vehicle, so this gets dropped in there with it. One went. I had a bigger one, but this one stays here. Pry bar, 1/2 inch breaker bar. This is actually a cool tool. So this is a custom made. I say custom made. My grandfather made this. He was a millwright for a very long time, and he always worked in a machine shop as well. So he would make custom tools to fit his needs, and I inherited this, and it's hasn't been broken yet. This is always my applied science tool. I use this hammer way more often than I should on the trail, but hey, it gets the job done. I've got onboard air, so I've got an air ratchet because I'm lazy, and it takes the hard work out of some of the things we have to do on the trail. I've got a 1/4-inch impact. Obviously this doesn't live in the Jeep. I use this a good bit. This is one of my everyday tools, but it goes in the toolkit when we take the Jeep on a wheeling trip. I also have a 1/2-inch drive impact with an adapter. This gets used a good bit as well, so yay. Got a battery for those, some black Gorilla tape, and then my favorite, last but not least, zip ties. These are 11-inch zip ties, and these are the same length, but they have a nice tab there. They're reusable. You use your zip tie. When you're done, hit the tab, push the tab down, pull it back out. It's a reusable zip tie, guys. These are awesome. These are awesome. Game changers. That's the long and the short of what goes in my toolbox. So I will show you how all of this fits in there. First and foremost, take our kit here. All right, so you just saw me go through the main toolkit. If we're going someplace local that's real quick, this is all that comes. This, and then the contents of this bag. If you've watched my DIY video on how to make an air inflation system, you know what's in this bag. I'm not going to pull this out, but I will link that video so you can see what that is. Now, because we're going to Utah, we're going to take some extra things with us. Things that normally I would just drive home and get, but 1,800 miles is a long way to drive home. So, first and foremost, I've got a bucket. This bucket has a watertight lid. Inside the bucket, I've got miscellaneous liquids. We've got motor oil, we've got antifreeze, we've got gear oil, and we have transmission and transfer case fluid. All the basic stuff you need on a trail. That's really not true. That's not a basic thing that you need on the trail. But I am not super familiar with Moab. I've never been out there before. I don't want to put myself in a situation where I've got to wander around late at night trying to find some place to sell me some oil so I can get off the trail. So, yeah, that's coming with us. That'll be in the back. Also, something that normally wouldn't be with us, but it's going to on this trail because super convenient, is a ball joint pusher, a ball joint kit. This is also good for popping out universal joints. I have a feeling we're going to break a U-joint or two. Maybe, maybe not. Hopefully not, but if it does happen, then we can push them out. I do have spare U-joints as well, and they'll be coming along in the truck. Last but not least, it's going to be in the Jeep with us, is our basic recovery gear. So we've got our soft shackles, our tree savers, synthetic rope, snatch block, steel cable snatch block for those folks who are running steel cables that we need to help out potentially a much longer strap for that. Gloves that I usually wear when working with this stuff. And then the hitch mount point, some more hard shackles, and an adapter for our high lift. That's it. That is the major parts that are going to be going in the Jeep with us. I think maybe the only other thing is going to be the actual high lift jack itself, which is somewhere over there in that mess, god awful mess that I call a garage. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. That's what we're going to be taking tool wise. I'm actually going to go over the rest of this stuff in another video. Maybe I'll combine it, I don't know. But either way, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again.